Welcome back, everyone. You're locked in and ready, and so are we. Today, we're setting our sights on something really unique, the world of digital art. And this, fascinating creator who calls themselves P2isthename.
A very appropriate way to put it. It is a fascinating world.
We've got a ton of material here, articles, interviews, fan theories, you name it, and we're going to unpack it all, really dig deep into what makes P2's work tick and why this whole air of mystery around them, I think, just adds to the allure, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. P2isthename has definitely carved out their own niche in the digital art scene. You look at their stuff, it's this blend of like surreal visuals, almost dreamlike, bending reality with these incredible animations that just pull you in. And then you layer on this whole element of the unknown because they reveal so little about themselves.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to try to unravel today. So the questions we're tackling are, who is this P2? What's the story, the meaning behind the name P2isthename? And really, what is it about their work that resonates so strongly with so many people online?
Big questions, yeah.
Big questions. Let's jump in.
Let's jump in. Where do you want to start?
Well, right off the bat, the thing that jumps out, I think, from all the material is this deliberate anonymity.
Oh, for sure.
P2 actively chooses not to show their face, not to share personal details. And in today's digital world, where, so many creators are all about personal connection, oversharing, being super transparent,
Right.
this feels almost radical, wouldn't you say? Like going against the grain.
It's incredibly intriguing, especially when you consider how much their art revolves around themes of identity and the self in a digital world. It almost feels like a statement in itself, this deliberate absence.
Absolutely. And then there's the name. P2isthename.
Yeah,
Straightforward, simple, yet it's so cryptic.
very much so.
We dug through all the material, and P2 hasn't really given an official explanation, have they?
Nope, not that I've seen. It's all up for interpretation.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting. When there's no explanation, the audience steps in, and boy, have they stepped in. I mean, the online speculation is wild. You've got folks saying P2 stands for Pixel Pioneer, like, at the forefront of this new digital art movement. Others think it's part two, like maybe this is just one chapter in a larger story.
Right, there are all these theories floating around. Some even suggest it's a play on Plato, referencing his ideas about forms and reality. It's fascinating how this one simple name can spark so much debate and interpretation.
It really is. But do you think this lack of an official explanation is kind of genius in a way? I mean, it keeps people guessing, keeps them engaged.
Oh, absolutely. It's this brilliant marketing tactic, whether intentional or not, because it creates this mystique, this puzzle that people want to solve. We're hardwired to seek out patterns to try and make sense of the unknown. And when an artist deliberately withholds information like that, it just fuels our curiosity. We can't help but try to fill in the blanks ourselves.
Like a game, almost. A treasure hunt.
Exactly. And it's so effective, especially in this age of information overload. You're constantly bombarded with content with people telling you who they are and what they're all about. So when someone comes along and just lets the art speak for itself, it's refreshing. It's like, okay, I'm going to have to work a little bit for this. I'm going to have to use my own imagination.
Right. And what they're using their imagination on is pretty mind-blowing, visually speaking. You go through the material, and P2's content is described as this fusion of like futuristic elements and this nostalgic vibe. It's chaotic, yet there's harmony. Kind of hard to explain, but when you see it, you just get it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It's like they've tapped into some kind of collective unconscious. You've got these futuristic cityscapes all glitching and distorted, but then there's this like underlying warmth. It's almost like they're looking back at the past through a futuristic lens, which I think is what gives it that unique, almost haunting quality.
Right. And I think it's that contrast that makes it so compelling. You've got the familiar, the things that make you feel nostalgic, grounded, and then you've got these jarring, futuristic elements that kind of throw you off balance. But in a good way, it makes you want to keep looking to figure it out.
Absolutely. It's like they're holding up a mirror to our own anxieties about the future, but doing it with a wink and a nod,
Yeah.
There's this underlying humor there too, which makes it all the more engaging. You're not just being bombarded with dystopian imagery. There's this playfulness, this element of, hey, we're all in this together, so let's have some fun with it.
And speaking of fun, I got to mention this one detail that really stuck with me. It's kind of mind-blowing, actually. P2's first major viral piece, the one that really put them on the map.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. It was created using a basic laptop and free software. I mean, Can you believe it? These intricate visuals, its whole fusion of styles, all from such simple tools.
It's a testament to their raw talent, isn't it? It proves that you don't need fancy equipment or expensive software to create something truly captivating. It's about the vision, the creativity, the ability to see potential where others might not.
It's inspiring, really.
Huge inspiration for aspiring artists. I mean, it shows that anyone can create something incredible if they have the passion and the drive. It levels the playing field in a way. It's not about the resources you have, but about how you use them.
So true. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and really zoom in on the artistry itself. We keep mentioning these amazing visuals, but the material really emphasizes P2's mastery of, blending technology and art.
Right. It's not just about the visuals themselves. It's about how they're created, how they're manipulated.
They use powerful software like Blender and Cinema 4D, which are like, top-tier tools for 3D modeling and animation. That's where the detail comes from, that dynamic movement.
Exactly. And then you've got programs like After Effects, which is like the go-to for visual effects in film. That's how they create those layers, those distortions, that signature surreal look.
It's like digital painting, but taken to a whole new level. But what really strikes me is how they use these technologies, not just as, tools, but as extensions of their artistic vision. It's not just about what the software can do, it's about how they use it to express their ideas.
Oh, absolutely. The technology is just a means to an end. It's like a paintbrush for a traditional painter. The real magic is in the artist's mind, their ability to conceive of these ideas and then translate them into something tangible, something we can experience visually.
And they're really good at that, at taking these abstract concepts and making them real. Like, for instance, those endlessly looping, glitching cityscapes. I mean, that's a metaphor, right? It's about the chaos of modern life. But it's also strangely beautiful.
It is. It's a reflection of our own relationship with technology, this constant bombardment of information, the feeling that things are moving faster than we can keep up. But at the same time, there's this underlying order, this sense that even in chaos, there's a pattern, a rhythm.
And it's not just about, passively watching it. The material mentions that P2's storytelling is often open-ended, inviting repeated viewing and discovery. You can watch the same piece multiple times and still notice new things, new layers, subtle details you missed before.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's part of what makes their work so captivating. It's not a one-and-done experience. It rewards you for paying attention, for really digging deep. And each time you watch it, you get a slightly different perspective, a new layer of meaning.
Like peeling back the layers of an onion. And then, of course, there are the infamous Easter eggs.
Oh, the Easter eggs. Gotta love those.
Apparently, P2 loves hiding little secrets within their work, like tiny details, hidden messages, things you wouldn't even notice unless you were really looking for them.
Right. And it's not just for fun, although it definitely is fun. It's another way for them to engage with their audience, to create a sense of community, almost like an inside joke that only the most dedicated fans will understand.
The sources mention a specific example, a hidden Morse code message in one of their famous pieces. And it took fans weeks to decode it. Turns out it just said, "Find the truth." Simple message. But the fact that people went to such lengths to uncover it speaks volumes about the level of dedication in their fan base, wouldn't you say?
Oh, for sure. It's brilliant, really. It turns the whole viewing experience into a collaborative puzzle. It's not just about appreciating the art, it's about actively participating in its unraveling.
Okay, let's dive back into this whole mystery surrounding P2's identity. It's kind of the elephant in the room, isn't it?
Always is.
We've touched on it, but the sources really emphasize this deliberate choice to remain largely unseen. I mean, they rarely show their face. And when they do, it's often obscured, stylized, like a mask almost. So naturally, there's been a ton of speculation. Who are they? Where are they from? What's their story?
Right. People love a good mystery, especially online.
But the prevailing opinion, at least from what we've gathered, is that this isn't just a, personal quirk or shyness. It's a conscious artistic decision. Like, they want the art to be front and center, not their personal life.
It's a powerful statement, especially in this age of, influencer culture where everyone's trying to build a personal brand, put themselves out there. P2 is basically saying, no thanks, my art is enough. That's what I want you to focus on.
And I think that's part of the appeal, isn't it? It feels more authentic somehow. Like, they're not trying to sell us anything. It's just pure creative expression.
It feels more genuine, yeah. And it makes you wonder, is this the future of art in the digital age, where the artist becomes almost irrelevant and it's all about the work itself? It's an interesting question.
It really is. And you can't ignore the recurring motif of faceless or masked figures in their work. Like, it's everywhere. You've got these, like, humanoid figures, but their faces are either blank, obscured, or replaced with, like, digital glitches.
Right, and it's obviously intentional. It's not just a stylistic choice. It's a commentary, I think, on identity in the digital age.
Absolutely. I mean, we all have these online personas, these avatars that represent us in the digital world, and they're not always an accurate reflection of who we are in real life, are they?
Exactly. So you could interpret this motif as P2 exploring that disconnect, that fluidity between our physical and digital selves. It's like they're asking, what does it even mean to have an identity in the digital world? And how much of ourselves are we willing to reveal?
And it gets even deeper than that. The sources mention a rare interview where P2 actually talks about this. It was all text-based, no voice or
Okay.
video, of course, but they specifically cite classic cyberpunk themes as an inspiration for their anonymity. Works like Ghost in the Shell and Akira, which are all about, the blurring lines between human and machine, the nature of consciousness in a technologically advanced future.
Right. So it's not just an aesthetic choice. It's rooted in these deeper philosophical explorations of identity and selfhood in the digital age.
So it's a statement, but it's also a mystery. And I think that's what keeps people coming back for more.
The mystery is definitely part of the allure, but I think it's also the art itself, the visuals, the animations, the storytelling. It's all so unique and captivating. You can get lost in their world.
Absolutely. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Because P2isthename isn't just this solitary artist working in isolation. They've become a legitimate cultural
Oh
phenomenon.
yeah, their influence is everywhere.
The material points to this ripple effect, where their style has started influencing other animators, musicians, even fashion designers. You see these similar aesthetics popping up, these surreal, glitchy visuals.
It's a testament to their originality. When you see an artist's work start to permeate other creative fields, it's a clear sign that they've tapped into something special, something that resonates on a deeper level.
And then there's the community aspect. I mean, the P2 enthusiasts, as they call themselves, are a passionate bunch.
Oh yeah, they're hardcore.
They meticulously analyze every frame of P2's work. They debate the meaning of the Easter eggs. They're constantly theorizing about who P2 really is. They're even creating their own fan art and animations inspired by P2's style.
It's a whole subculture, really, and it's fascinating to see how this sense of community has sprung up around an artist who deliberately keeps themselves at a distance.
It's like they've created this puzzle box,
Mm.
and the fans are all working together to unlock it.
And I think that's part of the appeal. It's not just about passively consuming the art, it's about actively participating in its interpretation. It's like a shared secret, a collective experience that binds them together.
And it's all organic. P2 hasn't really done anything to encourage it, have they?
No, not really. It's just grown naturally from the ground up, which I think is a testament to the power of their work to spark conversation, to create connections, to build a community around something truly unique and inspiring.
And to further emphasize this whole enigmatic persona thing, the material highlights the fact that while P2's work has been featured in major art galleries around the world, like big deal galleries, they've never actually attended an opening in person.
Nope. Always a representative, or they just stream in digitally.
It's like they're saying, look, I'm here, but I'm not here. The art is what matters.
It keeps the focus squarely where they want it.
So what do you think looking ahead? What's the future hold for P2isthename?
Well, based on everything we've seen, it's safe to say we can expect more of the same, but probably even more. More innovation, more cryptic messaging, more surprises. They definitely don't like to stay in one place for too long creatively.
The sources suggest we can expect even more experimentation with technology, pushing the boundaries of digital art even further.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And as technology continues to evolve, especially with like VR and augmented reality becoming more mainstream, who knows what they'll come up with? The
Yeah.
possibilities are endless.
And there's a rumor this is, like, deep in the internet, unconfirmed but still intriguing, that P2 is collaborating with a major tech company to develop a fully immersive VR experience based on their work. Imagine being able to step directly into one of those surreal landscapes,
Hmm.
interact with the characters. You know, that would be something else.
Oh man, that would be mind-blowing. Talk about blurring the lines between art and reality. It would be a whole new level of immersive storytelling.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive into the captivating world of P2isthename.
Time flies when you're dissecting digital art, huh?
We've covered a lot of ground today. We explored their unique artistic style, the mystery surrounding their identity, the impact they've had on the art world and beyond.
We talked about their anonymity, how it's both a statement and a strategy, and how it's helped to cultivate this incredibly passionate community of fans who are just as invested in the mystery as they are in the art itself.
And that brings us to our final thought. We've talked a lot about P2's choice to remain anonymous, so we want to leave you with this question. How does knowing, or rather not knowing anything about the artist personally, affect your own interpretation and appreciation of their work? Does it make it more intriguing, more authentic, or does it ultimately not matter? In a world where everyone's trying to be seen to build their personal brand, is the art itself enough? It's something to think about.
Definitely something to ponder.
And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those creative sparks flying.
And keep an eye out for those Easter eggs. You never know what you might find.